My story was 6 years ago, I was a pharmaceutical rep. I was struggling with, I was overweight, I had lots of back pain from driving 100 miles, I was in and out of disability. I had any more than just help people live an unhealthy lifestyle. And this program actually came to my wife. I was about to quit and go back to school. This program came to my wife, and I used to be a personal trainer, so she said, why don't you look into this? And she goes, here's a phone number to call to get some more information. And I called the number, and it happened to be Whitney. And I met with Whitney over lunch, and like everybody else, I had very healthy skepticism. I was a knucklehead trainer before, so I was like, yeah, right, get out of here. I didn't believe a word she said to me. But she invited me to an event like this, and Greg was the speaker, and as he started presenting all the stuff, I started looking at it in the Hopkins, and because I was all about medical, my wife's a doctor, and I'm like, I need credibility if I'm gonna put my heart behind anything, and I loved everything that Greg had to say, and I'm like, seems interesting. So I tried it. I lost 25 pounds in 5 weeks. Results not typical. And I was blown away, to be honest. I was like, wow, how'd that happen? I started researching and realized that this is the real deal. The nutrition is absolutely perfect for what the body is. It's what I used to try to get people to eat on their own. They just couldn't do it. And it was simple. And now I'm actually down another 15 after that. I thought I was done. You know how you go, oh, I'm good. I'm okay right here. Then I realized I'm selling myself short. I'm not taking myself to that level that I know that I can, and I have the tools. And so, but that took about 3 years to get over my psychology of what I wanted. So now I absolutely love Take Shape for Life. I absolutely love it. I did it part-time while I went to school to get a master's. Didn't even really pay attention to my income because I really didn't have to at the time. But I graduated and I finally looked at my income and I was like, oh my God, I'm like 80% to what I was at pharmaceuticals, part-time. And I had a really good life in pharmaceuticals. So I just fell in love with what this opportunity had to offer me, my family, and then others. Like I love bringing people home, helping moms come home, helping families come home, and just work from home because I know what kind of lifestyle I have. So I absolutely love it. So I had to get really good at identifying, qualifying, and coaching. Right? That's really the skill set that you learn. But the cool thing is you learn it over time. You don't have to learn it right away. So let's first talk about how we earn income. So we earn income by 2 ways, right? We earn income by client acquisition and client support, right? That's one of the fastest ways that we can earn income, right? Everybody know that. The other way we earn income, Take Shape for Life, is coach acquisition and coach support, right? Because we get paid on our team. So there's 2 ways to earn income, right? We've kind of seen the curve. We know how that all works. So these are the 4 pillars of Take Shape for Life, right? It is coaching or acquiring clients, how to get clients, coaching them well, bringing coaches on, and coaching them well. Now the cool thing is we don't have to coach well ourselves, right? Because we all have a mentorship program, right? I could not have done this without Greg and Whitney and without my team. Like there's no way. Nobody can do this alone, just like you can't do a program by yourself alone. We all need help. So that's what's so great. We have this mentorship program. So this is being a health coach. This is when you become a business coach. You're always a health coach and a business coach, right? Okay, let's move along. I wanted this to come in one at a time, but unfortunately I forgot to do that animation on this. So these is some of the questions I asked myself and some of my coaches. Why build a team of health coaches? Why do it? Because in the beginning I didn't want to. How many here did not want to in the beginning and just wanted to coach clients? It's like, and I'm okay with that. I encourage people to do that first. I don't force them into trying to build a team until they get it. That's my philosophy. But these are some of the reasons that I said, well, why should I build? The first question is do you enjoy being a health coach? Who enjoys it? Okay, cool. Do you get meaning and purpose from this work? Raise your hand.
Yes.
Yeah? How do you feel when you help clients to success? Pretty good?
Awesome.
Pretty awesome? Yeah. Do you have fun working with clients, right? Who are happy and get results. Maybe not the ones that are whiny and have all the psychological. We know that's what we have nutrition support for. Health. And it's nice to have nutrition support. They're the trained psychologists, so I always send them there. Is it a fun career?
Yeah. Yes.
It's pretty fun, right? It's awesome. Like Greg said, you gotta have fun in life, or what's it worth, right? So here's another question. Do you think others would enjoy doing this if they really knew what Take Shape for Life is about? Right? And let me ask you a question. How many here think they know what Take Shape for Life is really about?
Who? Our clients and stuff?
Anybody here, anybody in this room, do you feel you really know what Take Shape for Life is about? Raise your hand. Okay, so I'm just gonna share one thing. Most of you don't. Okay, the only reason I know this is because I didn't either. I thought I did, and we're gonna learn about that coming up here later. It's so much bigger than you can possibly know, and you grow with it, and you just continue to grow, and you're like, wow, you get wowed constantly. So we don't really know, but we know enough to be excited, right? We can agree with that. Okay, is it a wonderful thing to find others that would like to do this work? For those of you who build coaches, maybe they would, and then I wrote here, maybe they like it more than you, because I've got lots of coaches on my team that like it more than I do, and I love it. I'm all in, but they're like over the top, right? And I love them, right? Because they're just like, they're screaming from the rooftops, which is what I might not do. I'll scream, but I'll probably stand down here. So find people that love it more than you. We work with, this is what I believe, we work in others' highest, best self-interest. Would you guys agree? I mean,
Yes.
we're assisting people to health. That's their highest, best interest in their whole, that's period, is their spirit, their health, and everything. Assisting them to better health, happiness, and prosperity. That's really like what we get to do. That's what we offer. And helping others, to me, is a foundation of our own spiritual health, right? It's personal rewarding. It's written all over all the spiritual literature, the Bible, from every religion, that being in service to others' highest self is one of the most rewarding things a human can do. So, is it pretty cool to be a coach?
Yes.
This is the reason to build a team. Because it's not about whether you can do it or you're scared or you're this or you're that. It's about that when we give others this opportunity, we just have to find the people that want this, right? And not be afraid to think you're selling them into something, because this is what we have. So, sound good?
Yes.
Great. Cool. Okay. To be a business coach, the first thing is to make your plan. Now, structural tension charts, goal charts, whichever you want to use, meet with your coach and then learn about your SAC. SAC is your skills, your activities, and your concepts, right? There's some things that you gotta learn. This is about a strategy, right? If you're unorganized, then you'll have unorganization. If you're organized and you have a strategy, you can work a strategy and it works. So skills, use the business blueprint, the coaching basics, and you come to these live events, you attend your trainings, and the key here is download. It's like a software. How many times, I have to hear things 10 times before I get it. I don't know about you guys, I'm not that. Oh, I get it right out of the gate. So that's why we come to these events. That's why we do trainings all the time. More and more and more goes in, because right now a lot of stuff that comes out of our mouth is negative, bad stuff. Why? Because that's what we're getting from the society, right? News, whatnot. So the more good comes in, the more bad goes out. Actions, how many people are you talking to, right? Practicing your skills. That's one of the hardest things for most people, is they go, oh, now I'm a coach. We'll talk more about that later too. What do I say? Now they get scared. So actions are very important. You got to talk to people. This is a people business. People out there need our help. We have to talk to them. Concepts, are you selling them? Are you pushing them? Do you want it more than for you because you want your rank and your money versus them and their health? And what are your concepts about yourself? What limits you from actually going out there and doing things? Okay, steps to building your team. Using your IQ, identify and qualify before you approach, present, and sponsor. Now, identify. So what we need to identify in people, there's a couple ways to look at this, I think. So the Trilogy of Optimal Health and Optimal Career, where are they? What are their questions? Now, we have the Trilogy Wheel, which is a fantastic tool for all of us to use to kind of identify where someone is. And usually where the identification takes place is either, there's places that your clients, right? How many people here were a client before a coach? Right, so like 80% of people in the company are clients first, right? 20% are entrepreneurs or physicians, maybe they need it or they don't, but 80% were clients first. So the biggest place to find all your coaches is your client base. That's the place to start with. But also keep your eye out for entrepreneurs too, because they all need this too. And you identify them by asking them questions, getting to know them, finding out where they are they happy, things like that, as you're coaching them. Now, Greg went over this morning, right? These are ways for us to assess them if they want to take this, and we can kind of gauge with them where they are. We have all these tools available. You can ask your client to take them so they know where they are. And it's a great way for us to identify their needs, right? And then find out a little bit more about them. Now, identifying is also about, in file folder 4, there's a health coach tracker, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. And it really tells you what to look for in somebody. So one, you don't want to prejudge anybody, right? Because how many people are good clients that you didn't think would be? How many people were not able to make it that you thought would be great, right? It just shows that like us judging people, we're wrong so often. That's when I realized, oh my God, I'm wrong all the time. Like, how can I have any confidence when I'm wrong all the time? And the only way to have confidence is to go, you know what? I just don't judge. Now I have confidence because I don't know what you're going to be. If I judge, then I can be wrong. If I don't judge, I'm not. So anybody, this might be for, right? We've talked about the list of why do it, so it could be for anybody. So how? Talking less and making the offering to more people is really about what?
Sharing.
Share. Yeah, ask questions.
Oh,
Talking less
Okay.
is about, if you ask questions and you get them talking, you're talking less. You're just smart about asking really good questions. So the biggest skill for a coach, for all of you, I think, is learn how to ask good questions. Get an arm of questions. And they're all in the back office. You could look up asking questions. Dan Bell wrote a bunch of questions for us to ask in different scenarios. Get really good at that, and you'll see how magic happens. They may not be ready now, so you have to have a drip campaign and planting your seeds all over the place, right? Just like farmers, we're growing and creating. People may need any part of the trilogy. So there's a lot of different reasons for becoming health coach. And just because you may come into it because of that you love the program and the food, or you need the money, or you need the meaning and purpose in your life, you can never assume that somebody else has that same need. And what most people tend to do is to present what they like and what they like about it. And that's a crucial mistake. Because multiple times that I've done that, and I didn't connect with that person. Because that's not what they wanted. Maybe they wanted more money, and I was talking about meaning and purpose. Maybe I'm talking about money, and they don't really care much about money. They care really about helping others, and I blow it by telling them how much money they can make, right? And they think, oh, because their impression of our business is exactly what we give them, right? So it's up to us to hone our skills. Okay. So identify. So find out what they want, find out where they are, paint a picture, and show them how they can get there, right? That's over the course of time. It doesn't have to be in one setting, right? So you have to gather all your information. Now, here's the tracker. So this is a really powerful way that I've been doing. I've been really conforming to a lot of the systems that we have here and finding it that it's really easy. I don't think this has a pointer, does it? Oh, good, it does.
Yes.
Identify the why. What do they need? What are they looking for, right? And then qualifying. This is really about qualifying. And what they say is on a scale of 1 to 4, 1 being the highest, rate your candidate in the following areas: true to program, ambitious, accountable, attractive, self-motivated, successful in other areas, referring family and friends. And then it says, if they're mostly 1 and 2s, move to approaching. So this is a great way to just pick a client and do this. And if you start seeing people who are 1s and 2s, that they have all these qualities that you might not be thinking about, this tells you, then they're a potential candidate, right? At least they have what it takes. We have to see if it's a fit still, but they have what it takes, right, to go. I'm personally looking for ambitious, successful in other areas as my biggest quality now that I've been doing this for a long time. Because, I think that when we identify somebody who's successful, if we can show that it's a fit and it is a fit for them, I find them to be more successful people than people that. But that doesn't mean I'm not. If somebody wants to help 5 people, I love that. We need everybody who can help anybody. But if you want to build a big organization, to take somebody who doesn't really want it and try to make it big is a little bit harder than finding somebody who really wants something and is willing to do it, right? So qualifying somebody is really important based on what do they do now, how motivated, how organized are they, right? Things like that. Okay, approaching them, it says refer to the business blueprint, section 12, page 10. So if you guys haven't done that, just learn what Dan Bell wrote about approaching, because he's a master. So I highly recommend learning and then presenting. So this document everybody has, I started using it and I couldn't tell you how much easier it was for me to identify, because I've got people I thought would be great and maybe 4s in some of these areas, but I thought they'd be great. I was just wrong. So using this is going to be great. So qualifying them, we just talked about these. Qualifying is super important. It's easy to identify somebody. Oh, they'd be good. But qualifying them is a whole different ballgame, because this is about getting to know them. Are they ambitious? Are they accountable? Are they motivated? Do they like people? You know, are they successful? Believe it or not, do they like people? It's very important. People might like people, but they might be afraid to talk to people. Or they just don't like people in general. You know, or they just have bad experiences with communication. Okay. So approach. The approach is, it's really setting up an appointment, you know, in the beginning. Like, I think it's always better to get an appointment where you both have time versus, you know, rushing anything. That's my biggest thing. And I always use the, you know, I don't have time right now, but I'd love to share with you. So when can we set up a time? And I always just use that as my time. Use that as my line to not try to get involved in a conversation right there. Because I know that as much as I'm excited to do it, it's not the best. You know, it dilutes the situation because there's other distractions. You're not there for that reason. And so it doesn't work as well. And if they're not interested right now, contact and keep in touch. I just met with somebody who wasn't interested. I sent them a really nice email thanking them for their time, told them how wonderful this opportunity is, and I understand that it's not for them, but it might be for somebody that they know that might like this. And would you pass along their information? And they're very receptive because they're like, you know what, you're right, this is a great opportunity, and I'll tell some people that I think might like it more than me. So remember, that's what we're looking for, people who might like it more than somebody else, right? Okay.
So question, did you present to that person, or did they just say?
Full presentation.
Okay, so you did go to this stage.
Yep,
Okay.
full presentation, invited them to my house, and I honestly think that we messed up the presentation. Because one guy was asking lots of questions, and instead of stopping and doing my thing, with asking them questions, I was answering. And so they got what they wanted to hear. And I know that this person would really love it if they knew, right? But it didn't work out, so she said she wasn't interested. And I'll still drip on her a little bit over time, but that's kind of what it was.
You learned from your
I learned that, and Michelle said, you didn't do what you normally do. You forgot to start asking her what she wants, because he was asking lots of questions. And I learned that he who asks the questions controls the conversation. And it was a hectic day to just get there, so I was, you know, so we could mess up at any time, right? But do I care? No, not really. Next, I'll drip on him later, right? There's lots of people.
It's a learning experience.
Very much a learning experience. So tools that we can use one-on-one, I always recommend if you're skilled, it's okay to do a one-on-one. If you're not, when you'll see this later in my presentation, get to your mentor who is. And if your mentor you don't know if is, you know, find the national, find the global in your line of sponsorship. They will help you if you're serious. There's no doubt about it. And I recommend learning, and we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up, so I actually want to get to that one. And you don't want to give them too much, right? Just enough. You got to ask them what they want, show them certain things. But if you fire hose them, which I'm so guilty of doing so many times, I mean, you just literally push them into a wall where they just like, okay, you know, think what a fire hose would do to somebody if you actually put it on. Show them the IDS you want to share with them. Like, and I always tell them, look, our company's not about money, but I want to show you this of what our company's making. We're transparent because we have a really nice IDS, and I don't want them to think we're just about money. I really want them to, you know what we really do. But it's nice that we make money, right? We can all agree with that. And then follow up until they're
One
ready.
thing, the most common tool that I'm using, and that I think you're probably using, is the health coach interview, right?
Yes.
The health coach interview form kind of gives you, just like a client interview form, it gives you a step-by-step, some bullets to talk about, and a form to ask questions about them to get to know them. So that's one of the best tools we have.
Yes, that's true. In file folder 4, okay, so what basically, I'm not going to go over that because you guys have it, right? So in file folder 4, it tells you sponsoring tools. And there's lots of tools there. It shows you where all the videos are and all the forms that you have. So I am now very diligent about reading these file folders all the time because our whole coaching system is in the file folders. You know, when someone says, teach me how to coach, I say, read the file folders like 30 times. Make sure you start understanding them, and you'll learn how to coach because they're all in there. It's so great. Wouldn't you agree, Greg?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the backbone of what we do.
It's the backbone. So if you're not using the file folder system, then how many people are using it pretty good and read it and know how it works? And for those of you that are, do you find that your businesses are growing because of it?
And I'm more organized.
and you're more organized. And for those of you that not, you find your businesses are like, I'm not sure where it is. Okay. That's the difference between being a good coach and learning how to coach really well and not, is if you use the system or not, to be honest. So use the system and you'll be good. Especially if you want to build. Okay, so follow up. 80% of people say yes after the 5th time their approach. That's in every area of everything. So whether it's coaching or client. So if they're not ready now, ask them if you can keep in touch. You know, you never know. You never know what's going to be. Okay, step 5, sponsoring them. You all know how to do that. You know, you order their kit. And the key is just to set the intention that you're going to be there every step of the way, that you know, and introducing them to your mentors and making sure they know the whole line of mentorship so they can feel like they're plugged in and that they'll be well supported during their journey of becoming a coach. And then help them build momentum. This is Dr. A, the see one, teach one, do one. So you stay in touch. You set boundaries with them, like clients. This is what I'm willing to bring to the table, you know, and then you make sure that they're willing. You don't want to push too hard and not have them do anything. Tons of coaches do that, and it pushes people away, right? You do the first presentations with them and help them. If you're not comfortable doing that, get your mentorship to do that. But they need to hear it a couple of times from somebody who knows how to do it so they can see what good looks like. Role play practice, practice partners, these are all great things because anytime you're going to try to verbalize something, if you do it 100 times, you'll get good at it. If you don't do it very often and then you try it once in a real setting, it's easy to fall back because they can throw curveballs at you that you don't know how to answer. So practice, practice, practice. And I say, look, fail your way to success. That's what we always hear in the company is practice on everybody. And don't worry if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. You know, or if you didn't say something, you go, oh, I should have said that. It's a learning experience, right? This is all about learning and growing. Introduce them to the whole team, things like that. Bring your business leaders in very early. Helping them build momentum is tailoring it to their sphere of influence, not trying to get them to do things that maybe you had to do. And this was definitely one of my challenges because most people don't have the access that I have. I had to teach my coaches how to do things that I actually didn't even have to do. So I had to think about their sphere of influence, how they're going to use Facebook, or they're going to walk up to people, and they're going to do their little marketing campaigns. And I bounce the ball to them. I give them their activities. You know, you want people to, they have to be responsible too, right? We can only give them the information, they have to do the activity. Have them do goal setting. You know, what do they actually want to achieve? Structural tension charts help them align exactly what they want to do. And then, this is my big philosophy, treat all coaches on your team as frontline. You know, don't think, oh, my coach got a coach, so that's their coach. It's like, no. You're responsible for your organization, right? Don't leave it up to fate for your organization to grow. You get involved if you're the leader and take control, you know, of your organization if you want to build. With respect, obviously, to that coach. You know, it's not about mine versus yours. It's a team effort. Okay. Make it duplicatable is Dr. A's vision. Do it for them. Do it with them. I can't read that. It's too small. Do it on their own time. Teach them to teach. You got to be flexible, right? You got to figure out when's going to work for everybody. Put them in a leadership program, presenting with people and learning how to do that. Like Greg lets us do this. It hones all of our skills as we all present. And then solidify your relationship with them, how the mentorship works. By mentor. Okay, working with coaches. This is a really important piece. So, was that helpful about identifying and qualifying people?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So, we're going to switch gears now and talk about working with health coaches. This is something that I've been really working on and understanding as a human growth thing, not just like this business. It's anything that we do. The reason I'm really studying this is because I have a 3-year-old Justin turning 3 Monday. His party's actually today, and we've been trying to figure out how the heck do you parent. To be truly honest, how the heck do you do this to get him to not be emotionally messed up later, right? It's a crucial year. You know, the more frustrated I am, the more emotionally messed up he'll be. So that's honestly where I started studying this, but I realized the applicability to every area of our life. It's not, so they brought it into raising kids, but when I found the company who did it, they're talking about it on the bigger scale, the corporations, the big things. So we're going to talk about understanding the conscious, competence ladder. Okay? And you just write that down and Google it.
Conscious competence.
Yeah, conscious competence ladder, and keep looking for what the ladder looks like. And we're going to go over it right now so you'll recognize it. There's 4 parts to the ladder. The first part, don't take pictures yet, I'll give you a second when the screen is done if you want, is unconsciously unskilled. Okay?
Or unconsciously incompetent.
Whatever.
Same thing.
Unskilled is the words that they use, so I'm going to use what they use. But yes, it's the same thing. Unconsciously unskilled. You don't know what you're doing, and you don't even know that you don't know. Okay? You don't know what you don't know, and you don't even know that you don't know. But you think you know. That's the problem. That's the challenge. The second one is consciously unskilled. Now you know that you don't know. Okay? The third one is consciously skilled. Now you know that you know. Now you think you're all hot stuff. And you're still not even there. The fourth one is unconsciously skilled. You can take a picture of that because that's the last one on the slide. Now you're skilled and you don't even have to be. You're automatically skilled. You know what to say no matter what. Okay? That's unconsciously skilled. It just becomes part of your nature, like a Greg Rex, to be honest. He's unconsciously skilled.
Mastery.
Yeah, you're a master. You don't even have to think anymore. It's just who you are. It becomes natural. And that's the highest level of learning, right? Okay. Now, go on. Let's talk about unconsciously unskilled. We're not aware that we don't know, or that we have the skill, or that we need to learn it. We think it looks easy. I don't need help. Many people think that sometimes. I want that. I can do that. And we learned that from Justin is oh, I want to ride that bike. That sounds easy. To move out of level 1, you got in this business, I wrote this to our business. Use tools like your business mentor to identify your strengths and weaknesses, right? To be an honest assessment, you need to know. And to understand which skills you need to learn. As part of this, ask other people for their input so that you can uncover weaknesses and skills that you might otherwise miss. Okay, so brand new coaches are usually this, right? Brand new coaches. And the way you work with a brand new coach is you have to just encourage them and realize this is where they are. And this is us too, so you got to try to figure out where you are in this too. Okay, and on that website, when you Google it, you'll see how they say to work with people when you start to know. Okay, I don't have that site here because I know my time doesn't allow for that part, but it's phenomenal. How do you work with somebody who's unconscious? And when you know that they are, and they know that they are, it makes it a lot easier, right? Because it's very powerful awareness. Okay. Number 2, consciously unskilled. We become aware that we don't have a skill. So in coaching, when you become a first coach, you're unconsciously unskilled. You think, I got it, I'm going to go out there and tell people about this program. You messed up, you found all kinds of stuff. You know, it's not working, right? And then you all of a sudden realize, I can't do this. How many people have been in that position before in their career at Take Change Fund? A lot of people. This is the growth of a health coach. We all of a sudden we realize that we can't do it. We're unskilled, and we know it. And now we know, what are we going to do? We're going to bug people. Now we're going to annoy the heck out of people, and they're going to hate us for it. Have you been scared? Have you been scared to do this business? I've been scared, right? So when you're consciously unskilled, you become scared. Oh, I don't want to talk to them. Now I'm afraid. Okay? You don't know what to say because you don't want to annoy people. I'm bugging people. I'm offending people. I'm annoying people. I'm saying the wrong things. Right? I don't want to fail. You realize that others are more confident. Oh my God, they're really good. Oh God, Brad Rex, he's really good. You know, Whitney's really good. Mark's really good. I can't do that. You lose confidence and you consider giving up. How many people consider giving up doing this business? I know Whitney, you did multiple times, right? Now she's presidential director and one of the greatest leaders in the company. So this is what happens when you're consciously unskilled. And the last one, I'm sorry, I can't read, guys. Okay, so to move to the next level, we have to use tools like personal development, books, affirmations to combat negative thinking, right? That's why this is such a personal development business. And you have to refocus your energy on days when you feel down. And you have to realize, oh, I just don't know. I need to learn. This is where you stretch yourself and start growing as a health coach dramatically. Learning is uncomfortable in the short term, but these skills help you reach your goals and to build a better life, right? So this is when you're consciously unskilled, and when you have a coach who's consciously unskilled, they need the most encouragement right now, right? Just keep learning, keep growing. You can get this. Just don't give up, right? That's when our job as a mentor is to keep them moving on the continuum, because we know that it happens. How many of you have been here but have gotten better from that? Right? We all were consciously unskilled at some point. Every single coach, no matter who you are, because this is a whole different model that none of us have seen before. Okay, make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, move on.
Work with.
Okay, so that shouldn't have been there yet. Okay. Consciously skilled, the third part, consciously skilled. Now we're aware that we have this skill, right? Now we know, you know what, I can do this. I can present. I'm now out there. I'm doing my presentations. I'm pretty skilled. I know how to ask questions. So this is the coach. I know how to build rapport. I know how to build relationship. I've built some teams. I've made it to national director or global director, maybe a baby global director. I'm starting to get there. And you have more confidence, and you become more intentional, right? I would say this is probably where I'm at, maybe towards the next right now. I feel like I know what I'm doing a little bit. I'm more intentional. I'm starting to get this. I'm really encouraged, right? You guys agree? That's how you kind of feel? You're feeling really good? But then there's frustration, right? Because you're not really there yet. You're almost to the point of mastery, right? So you're skilled, but people aren't doing what you want them to do. The one thing I'm reminded of is Jamil Frazier. If some of you know him, he was here a lot, and he was trying to get people to do what he wanted them to do, and then when he realized help them get what they want, he became presidential. He just switched what he did, because he was consciously skilled, but he wasn't getting anywhere. He was frustrated. So to move through level 3, you got to work with your business mentor and look for opportunities to use your skills as often as you can. You can volunteer for projects that require new skills, and just keep getting yourself out there and not worry about if you make mistakes, because you know that you have it, but it is what it is. But that's how you move through level 3. Okay. Oh, level 4 came up. Oh, I didn't do this animation. Huh?
We'll fix that.
Okay, so level 4, unconsciously skilled. Here, you use your skills effortlessly, and you perform tasks without conscious effort. You're completely confident. And you feel empowered, confident, carefree, bulletproof, and ready for the next challenge, right? And we've heard this word bulletproof before in Take Shape for Life. And what it really means is that it doesn't matter what someone says to you. You can never be thrown off your foundation of what you know. You're like, look, you don't know what I know, so, and you don't have to take it personal that they don't know. You realize that they just don't know. They haven't been exposed. It's a new thing. They're unconsciously unskilled when it comes to our business, right? So they think they know. You're one of those. I know who you are. But they've got no clue. And you're okay with that. And you're bulletproof because you know how to have a conversation with them to get them to realize what we are, right? Well, let me ask you a question. You can start asking them questions and then show them what we're really about. Show them how we're not what they think. That's when you're unconsciously. You can do that in skilled position, but when you're unconsciously skilled, you don't even have to think about it. It's completely natural. So those are the 4 competency ladders, and it also talks about how to work with people in there. Now, one of the ways to continue with this, they say one of the problems with unconsciously skilled, and I've actually heard Greg Rex ask this question to Dr. A, is complacency happens when you're unconsciously skilled. Remember you asking, how do you not stay complacent, knowing what you know and how big you are? And it's a matter of having your mission and your drive for what you want to do in life to keep going forward. A good way to do this for these people who are there is teach them new skills, right? They have to constantly be learning or we get complacent. It's all about continuous growth. Keep information fresh. Start teaching it, right? That's what we start to do. The best way to learn things is to teach it. Whitney says that all the time. Deepen your understanding of the material and give you a rewarding way to pass this knowledge on to other people. bear in mind that you may go backwards down the ladder if you don't use your skills correctly. So this is an awesome tool for me to evaluate where I'm at, what I need. This is an awesome tool for me to evaluate where I think a coach is, and that tells me what they need from me. Do they need my encouragement? Do they need new tasks? Do they need new challenges? Do I need new opportunities for them because they're getting skilled? You know, and to really build a world-class organization, each one of us have that opportunity, then this is going to help you start to structure your understanding of your people that come into your organization, right? Because it won't happen by magic. I don't see any leader on stage that takes shape for life by magic. You know, they work and they think about this stuff and they inspire their teams and they understand how they do leadership. They learn leadership. You know, and that's what's possible, which is pretty amazing. So I encourage you to go check this out for your teams. I don't know if I have questions, but time for questions, but I have that answer.
Where do they learn leadership the most? Where are leaders born?
Well, leaders born when they come to events to learn stuff, but they have to do self-study too. But yes, leaders are born at events. They have to go to events, but you got to do self-study to learn where you are and you're, you know, because it's all about communication. Leaders 100% about communication. How do you communicate? Do you inspire, or you know, so. But they're born by coming here and learning, because they have to learn our craft no matter what. If you don't have the knowledge,
But then you gotta go out and practice it.
no matter what.
Absolutely. Great job.
Yeah, you know.